Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm Luscious Balzac from FJRD. Joining me today is Revin. Say hello.
What's up? Hello. Little bit of a last second change up. GI Jimmy was supposed to co-cast this match, but he's opted to go cast the Junkyard Dogs versus Dirty Socks Clan match instead. So I'm the fill-in. Excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Revin, for filling in and helping get everybody situated in such a way that we could get more casts in today. It's very helpful.
For sure. For sure. So, what are you expecting in this one?
Well, first, we gotta make an announcement for what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows what we're doing right now. We're casting Battle for Midway. That's a MWO comp tournament. 7v7 format. Conquest. All 5 caps are available. But other than that, it's MWO comp. It's big stompy robots.
Yep. I mean, MWO comp, obviously, that's a wide range of what you might get. Here in Division 6, Group 6, traditionally would be Division F. We've got a good matchup. Might not be as chalk or as theory-focused as maybe the Div A matches. Not exactly going to always know what to expect here in Division 6. So, Black Pants Legion is a team that traditionally has run some unexpected things. I wouldn't be surprised if we try to see a Lerm strategy snuck in there at some point tonight. Of course, SROT here, Team Optic, generally going to be more of a brawl team. Similar to the SROT that you might be more familiar with from the higher divisions. You have this sort of second SROT team. They play very similar. They play with those guys in quick play. They got some talent too. Sir Haven's a guy that is pretty good. Papa Spud, Optic Seagull, they got some talent. They're definitely the favorites in this one. They're sort of established themselves well in that sort of Division F range, Division 6. Now, obviously, the number of divisions and the categorization of them changes, but this is the second to lowest division, so not the lowest division, which is sort of the area that Team Optic has operated in for a while. Sometimes they've been the lowest division, but after winning that, they kind of moved up and haven't really moved past this. Black Pants Legion, this is their first chance at a division, I believe, that is not the lowest. So, interesting to see what Black Pants Legion is going to come up with.
Well,
now that they're moving up a little bit.
So generally, BPL, Black Pants Legion, they've been in Div G for most of their career,
right. Which would be Division 7.
Which would be Division 7, and during ISC we had Division I as the lowest. Yep. We had so many teams in
they were
in ISC.
They finished 3rd place in Division I believe. Sorensen Sabres also makes the jump. They finished 1st place. Church of Mechs finished 2nd place. Did not return for this tournament. But with some new teams to backfill behind them in Division G, they're going to make them jump up along with Sorensen to take their crack at Division F. So this is Alpine Peaks. We're about to get into this game. Alpine Peaks tends to be very tradey, but I've seen a few teams brawl. Been watching some of the matches this weekend. Especially in these lower divisions, people have not been scared to mix up what they're bringing. I think.
Yeah,
interesting.
Earlier today there was a match I was casting, and one team they brought 5 lights just right off rip, sent them straight behind the enemy team, and up from behind them. It was impressive.
Yeah. So I will take the SROT side if you'll take the BPL side.
All right. So you're taking red. I'm taking blue.
Yep. Red versus blue here. So it looks like trade from SROT, they've got the Rifleman IIC, couple Shadow Cats, a Hunchback, as well as a Flea, Vulcan, and Blackjack Arrow is an interesting choice. Let me get over here. This could be a Gamma play with the way that Blackjack Arrow is all the way out in this, I believe it's Charlie Lance. Although the lights make me think Kappa Theta, potentially. This middle position with the Flea and the Vulcan. One thing I am noticing here, though, this is a very slow deck for Black Pants Legion. You'd almost think Brawl with the amount of lights that they have. They only have just the one Flea. Everything else mediums. So, those are fast mechs. You think Shadow Cat, Hunchback not so much, but Shadow Cat, Shadow Cat's fast, Vulcan that's fast. It's not a lot of, those aren't necessarily designated cappers, though. So I'm curious to see how that works out for them. What are you seeing on Black Pants Legion?
Well, I'm just now getting to the drop decks. Oh, and they're loading in. Okay. Over on...
a couple Mistlinks, a bunch of Grasshoppers.
Yep.
Several Mistlinks, and some Crabs. So...
Command coming in.
Are those Brawl Grasshoppers and Crabs?
That's what I'm... looks like we have a hold call. So...
Okay, hold one, connecting. Okay, well that gives us an opportunity to look at the decks.
Gives us time.
I had the, did the drop ships swap places? Because this definitely is looking like Gamma off the bat from... why have I got all chat open? What am I doing?
And we've got the go call.
Okay.
Looks like medium pulse lasers for the Crabs, ER larges for the Grasshoppers, and the Mistlinks are they all bringing... Nope. Okay, so one of them has 8 AP Goss.
Okay. I don't love that look from Black Pants Legion. ER large lasers on the Arrow. Hags on the Shadow Cat. Gamma is not a cap point that SROT has chosen to play for, but they put both of their fast movers on Kappa, meaning Theta's very much in play. Moving a Shadow Cat now to try to take it. Sigma is definitely going to go Black Pants Legion's way, though.
Oh, without a doubt. They're going to get it. They're going to cap it up, but, I think that SROT here kind of... I don't know. I think SROT needs to push right now. They need to start being aggressive. They know that there's a mech out at Gamma. They know that there's 2 mechs at Sigma. Who knows if they can see the 2 mechs reinforcing Sigma, but...
They don't have push mechs, though. And
true.
They've got one of their Fleas looking to play Gamma here. We could have a light 1v1 out by the Gamma point if this Flea's not careful. Mistlinks doesn't see it, obviously. But we'll see if he adjusts back once they start the cap on Gamma. Grasshopper's taking an interesting position. This 3-line high ground, I don't know if I can get the map to display grid squares. I don't know how to do that.
I don't think you can.
This 3-line position is really strong. I'm curious as to why Black Pants Legion didn't choose to play that angle. Perhaps just not aware of the theory here. This would be the second position you'd maybe play from this side for your traders. Second best isn't bad, but not giving up this 3-line, which Overwatch is much better for the Caps.
So it looks like that Flea did indeed take Gamma. One of the Mistlinks is heading back towards Gamma, gonna try to push him off.
Black Pants Legion's already bled a good amount of percentage without getting too much in return. Rifleman taking damage, but other than that, Grasshoppers and Mistlinks taking under 90%. Crabs taking a good amount of damage. Where's Bella here? Is he fighting on Gamma? Is that who that is? Nope.
No. Bella here is towards the front line. He's engaged with the Blackjack Arrow.
They're pushing. This is interesting. I mean, they brought these Crabs for a reason, I guess.
Ooh, Papa Spud got laid.
Yeah, Papa Spud's about to go down here. Let's see if they can get these Shadow Cats, though. You know, I don't think that error was critical to their... Oh, is that Hunchback Lerms? Hunchback is Lerms. 4 Lerm 15s. I think this is very bad, I think, for Black Pants Legion. Even getting that kill, I don't think they have numbers because of how much they've committed to Gamma. Being able to get up on this Hunchback, though, will neutralize him from the fight. The Vulcan's going down. And the Riflemen are able to kind of tee off from long range, get a free trades. Mistlink's going to make a play to try to knock that down, it looks like.
Bella here sitting at 17%. Ooh, finally goes down.
I think they're going to lose the Hunchback, though. Definitely going to lose the Hunchback. Is that Crab legged? Is Ralphie legged? No, but he's moving... He's moving that way. Black Pants Legion was able to make the most of that. I don't think these Shadow Cats DPS is high enough to have really taken advantage of that. Ooh, we just had a self-destruction from one of the Grasshoppers. That is now not good for Black Pants Legion. Oh, but the flea shot down. Yeah, he's toast.
Yep, there goes that flea.
SROT loses the flea. Honestly, I think this one was a little bit lost at the Mech Lab. I think the deck was stronger from SROT, but I think these Shadow Cats particularly were not a good pick, and they were not ready to help contest in that brawl.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think the Crabs, in a traditional setup, maybe not what you want either. But with them being able to get up close and start kind of brawling, obviously they're going to be a lot more DPS with those medium pulse lasers than these 1 Hag 30 Shadow Cats. And so the Shadow Cats just kind of stood there and took their shots while the rest of the mediums got kind of picked apart, but weren't able to put out enough damage to be able to win this one.
So it looks like Crimson Lizard is the last Shadow Cat alive for SROT. Ralphie's sitting here on, what is this, Theta?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to cap it. He's legged.
Cap.
He's legged.
I mean, this is the kill that Crimson maybe can finish. You know, just for the scoreboard to look a little bit better.
Yeah.
But you know, this is gonna be a 4 or 5 cap. Wrath Darkstar coming in to help Ralphie, as is Tentante. What's interesting is Tentante really was out of this fight for the vast majority of it, only coming and helping finish that flea that had gotten up on the Grasshoppers. Obviously, the self-destruction, I think probably, I was not watching the fight, was probably prompted by perhaps a back shot from the flea that knocked out a lot of the structure, because, you know, it's weird that you see that, especially with a mech that was probably close to fully healthy for them to just self-destruct. But a back shot leading to, you know, minimized structure can definitely cause that.
Oh, yeah.
Ralphie with 400 damage. Star Commander Unsung 362, Hedgehog 339. Again, Tate was able to get 168, but Wrath Darkstar 439 in the Mistlinks. Pretty huge.
So yeah, that's a win for BPL Van Zandt Militia. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I mean that is a look that obviously is not maybe what you're expecting if you're SROT. You know, medium pulse laser crabs, certainly not the Fury for Alpine Peaks. I don't think they were ready to get pushed. They had big numbers on that side though. Obviously you had the Grasshoppers arcing some large lasers in. One of them was able to do some decent damage. But for that fight, it really should have been 6-on-4 with the Flea and the Mistlinks, of course, on the other side of the map. But the Grasshoppers, you know, yeah, it's kind of 6-on-6 because they're doing some damage, but from their position, they couldn't get consistent shots on any one focus target.
Mm-hmm.
The big kill, though, obviously, I think the Blackjack era with those light machine guns, probably the highest DPS mech of the group, going down first. You know, I think was a big kill for Black Pants Legion to get. After that kill, I thought it looked like maybe that was where the momentum was going to stall for BPL. Obviously, they were able to continue to pick up kills Lorem Hunchback was an interesting choice. It ended up getting too close, and those missed lynxes were able to pick it off. Interesting match. We'll see what they come up with next.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been seeing a lot of interesting decks today. What with Shadowcat Wizard Gaming Gang.
Shadowcat Wizard Gang. You've heard of Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Yeah, sure, yes.
Okay, it's a meme.
All right, good to know. They were bringing a lot of unconventional decks, and they got some wins with them. They made some really close matches or drops with them. It was interesting. So that's what I love about these lower division teams is they can bring something that's just wild, and they can make it work.
You were joking about that PGI putting a button that lets you swap teams, right? That was a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Okay, that would be actually helpful.
It would be.
So, obviously they didn't do that.
No, not yet.
Obviously, I don't think hosting MWO comp matches was the intended feature of the private lobby system. But here we are. Pinnacle of MechWarrior. Yeah, you could make that argument. So now the team swap. I'm curious to see if SROT chooses to take that 3-line that Black Pants Legion didn't. The 3-line is a very strong power position. I don't think we have the map up, but it can overwatch four of the cap points.
Well, I can bring up a map tool. Let me get it over to Alpine Peaks. And get into the map tool. Yoink. And let me go ahead and send you the link.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Okay. And I have DM'd it to you. So now everybody's looking at the map.
Okay, yeah, so I didn't want to get too much into theory because I think a lot of it's not going to be used here, but this 3-line, it's more of a 4-line. You can get into the 4-line or the 3-line, however high you want to get on this mountain. This is the really strong line on this map with Game of 4 being the critical point. Now there's this Indigo 9 spot as well. These are the kind of tale of two cities here. But this, obviously you have lines on this, and to some extent Kappa. I don't think most mechs are going to have the range to really deny Kappa. Should at least have scouting on it. Of course, Indigo 9 is more going to look at Epsi, a little bit of Theta, but there's a mountain here. You can pretty much hide from Indigo 9 and Kappa. Now, you can only hide from Indigo 9 if you don't have any Kilo 7 mechs. You can't hide from both this position and that position, Kilo 6, Kilo 7. So you kind of have these two spots, Indigo 9 and sort of in this Kappa 6, 7 area to deny Theta if you're Team 2. This is typical formation. So those are the two big power positions. Of course, Indigo 9 gives you better positioning to secure Gamma. That's really the only advantageous aspect of Indigo 9 over Gamma 4. Gamma 4 is better at holding Theta. It's better at holding Epsilon. Obviously, it has lines on Sigma that Indigo 9 doesn't really have, at least range-wise. Even Indigo 9 doesn't even have good lines on Kappa because of how steep it is. You need arm lock. You need arm weapons, and then to unlock your arms to be able to even shoot it. So
yeah,
that if we see a trade, I think SROT is going to be much more familiar with the theory, and potentially could run something like that.
Alrighty.
Do you want to take the red team?
Sure. Both teams have locked. We're in the match. Just waiting on the teams to load in. Just gonna doop boop. Hit all my little keybinds, pop everything up that I can at the moment. I want to see some more brawl. That's what I want to see. I don't know about you, Revan.
You about to?
Good.
We have got 3 Vipers, 2 Vulcans, and 2 Riflemen. I say you're about to. I think this is probably not brawl, but 3 Vipers really makes me wonder if they're trying. Because now the Riflemen, these aren't Dow Breakers. These are 3 Cs. I can't look at the build yet, but it's auto cannons. So 4 auto cannons.
We definitely have brawl coming in.
Vulcan. These are large laser Vulcans, I think. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Javelins, crabs, quick draws on the other side. Yeah, seems like bro.
Yeah, those quick draws. I looked at one of them. They had ER larges and rocket launchers.
So it is LBX2 riflemen. 4 LBX2 riflemen. I don't like that. I think SROT obviously needs to equalize here. We've got another hold called. I don't think this is a mech lab choice I'd ever be making, is to bring LBX2s.
The javelins, 2 of the javelins are bringing mag shots. The other one is bringing heavy machine guns. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if LBX2 rifleman, that's just, you're not going to be able to deny caps super well with that. Yeah, you can do it, but, you know, it's not quite like PPCs. You'll probably do a better job denying with AC2s. Well, not probably. You will do a much better job. It's not as good as your large lasers, though, and you can't poke as well with it. You need kind of sustained lines. I'm curious if there's just like a huge range quirk that they like, if they're really worried about brawl, which maybe they are, and maybe think the AC2 DACA is going to be better against brawl pushes. They are going to take this line, though. They are going to try to get to the 3 line, the 3-4 line, which I think is what they need to be doing. Probably.
Those quick draws are getting a line on Sigma right now.
Yeah, the quick draw is going to deny Sigma, but no play towards Gamma, and they basically have to go full in on Sigma at this point. I mean, it's not a brawl push, obviously, with ER large lasers.
Yep.
Javelins, did you say they've got small pulse and mag shot? Crabs, are they medium pulse again? Well, it's only 1 crab this time.
Let me take a look. Yeah, it's medium pulse.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. It's interesting. I think the quick draws could put out a lot of damage, though, but they're taking a lot of damage in return. Ralphie really getting hammered. I might have been too critical on the AC2 rifleman. I think if you could really punish that with ER large lasers if you just poke traded, but this position that Black Pants Legion finds himself in is they're just out in the open and they're just getting flanked.
Yep.
Repeatedly. Vulcan taking a lot of damage. Both Vulcans taking a lot of damage for Sky Rangers of Terra. Riflemen are really staying healthy. This is... Kappa's going down. Ooh, Viper. Viper's being sneaky towards Kappa.
But 2 javelins. Nope. All 3 javelins have turned around.
This is a position. This is bad. This is really bad for SROT. Yeah, that Viper has to run away. Because then they have no ability to help the Viper.
Yep.
None at all. Black Pants Legion kind of turning this one around, I think. I think that early positioning all the way towards Sigma really hurt them. If they lose the game, it's because of that. But Papa Spud down towards 80%. Both Vulcans down towards 80%. Sir Haven, is he cord CT? No, that's just arm. Yeah, we'll spread a lot of damage. Head, of course, cord as well. I don't think that will come into play. All the quick draws seem to have spread damage quite well, though, looking at leg damage, side torso damage, arm damage. So those percentages may be a bit deceiving for the Black Pants Legion. Of course.
And on top of that, they have those rocket launchers, so if those Vipers get within range of them, that's just damage to eat.
Yeah, you've got a trap card there. I do like these Vipers a little bit more than the Javelins, obviously more tonnage, but the Javelins have to kind of stay at brawl range in order to do damage. Vipers? Not so much. We're going to have a 3-on-3, though.
Javelins versus Vipers.
It's about to turn into a 3v2 once Bella here goes down. He was way too far in the front. No clear focus target from the Black Pants Legion. Bella here staying alive. Wrath Darkstar's ranging over. Vulcan's getting lines, though, to make this even more one-sided.
Quick draws even joining the fight.
Yeah, quick draws. This is the decisive fight, and Bella here able to just keep kind of staying alive, putting out damage. Finally loses his leg, but Crimson Lizard not even going down. Crimson Lizard looking to maybe be taking a lot of damage. Back CT damage for Crimson Lizard. X kills himself. Legs looking weak on Sniper Man. Uh-oh. Another Viper down. Sniper Man about to go down too. That was a bad loss for SROT. Not able to get the Rifleman into that fight. Of course, the quick draw firing line comes in to really clean that one up. It looks like Tonelock's gonna lose his life for this one too. Yep. That takes out all of SROT's fast movers. Weaver goes down. Both Javelins down. So that, or 2 of the 3 Javelins. Katate's gotta be careful. Because what they have an advantage on right now is fast mechs. He's gonna commit to try to kill the Vulcan. But if he dies, gets leg trying to do this, there's still a window for SROT. Not a good one, but I mean, this Javelin could win the match by himself if Sir Haven goes down. And it looks like he's going to. CT is cord against a mag shot Javelin. Not much he can do, except hope that his Riflemen get into range.
Ooh, Papa Spud and that Rifleman goes down.
Yeah.
Down goes Sir Haven.
Okay, Optic Seagull was disconnected. So I have not noticed this. Unfortunately, I apologize. Optic Seagull seems to have disconnected early in this match because he's just been sitting behind this cover. Never got into firing position. I was wondering where their other Rifleman was. But yes, Disco and G4.
That's rough.
That definitely could have put more hurt on the quick draws early. Because the quick draws were able to stay alive despite that early positioning being a bit too far forward. It ended up working in their favor, though, as the quick draws were much more able than the Riflemen to assist in the fight against those Vipers. Bella here staying alive. If Bella here goes down faster, I don't know if the Vipers all go down there. I wonder if they could have picked off 1 or more Javelins and got away. But with Bella here staying alive until the quick draws could range over,
Yeah,
even though he didn't put out a lot of damage, that was big. That was important. That he was able to stay alive and for as long as he did. Quick score update. It looks like Junkyard Dogs got game 1 against
Dirty Socks
Clan. Over on that other channel. We're gonna be moving to Frozen City. Black Pants Legion going up 2-0 against SROT. I don't think a lot of people had this on their bingo card.
Not me, now, that's for sure.
Obviously, Optic Seagull disconnecting maybe was a big factor in the last match. But I'm not even sure if him being around would have severely swung that match. It's hard to tell with how Black Pants Legion was able to manage the caps. If he was around, maybe they weren't able to even get Sigma. You can't know. But unfortunately, we don't live in that reality. So we'll have to just leave that as forever an unknown. SROT now has a chance to make a comeback. SROT, generally a brawl team, Frozen City, a map that you definitely can and will see brawl on. So don't let the quick play version of this map fool you. But this is one of the big brawl maps. There are very few maps in this game that are both large and predominantly brawl maps. I think Frozen City, particularly in this current meta that we're in, is one of them. Where brawl is, I don't know, predominantly might be a strong term. You'll see some trade matches on it for sure. But there's like a good chance one of the two teams brawls in any given match. A greater than 50% chance, I think, that one of the two teams chooses to brawl. Part of that is, I think it's a bit of a one-dimensional map for trade, with one side having a clear advantage, which can lead to more teams from the opposite side opting to brawl. So there's some dynamics there, but this is one I think across the tournament you've seen a good amount of teams choose to brawl. Now, have they been successful in those brawls? It really depends on your execution, drop deck, and enemy team composition. If the enemy team brings receive, it's going to be very difficult to brawl this map. If they bring your large trade, you probably have a good time brawling this map. So, there's a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors choosing to bring brawl on Frozen City. But I wouldn't be surprised if one or both teams chooses to do it. No one on our team. I believe you can play with 6.
Yeah, I'm looking through the rules right now, just kind of skimming through it. I'm not seeing it in the BFM rule set, so I think it's in the general rules.
Yeah, it would be in the general rules. Now, there's some tournaments where you're not allowed to play with 6, or with one less than, is normal. You generally, most of them though aren't gonna force forfeits on you just for playing undergunned. Now it seems that maybe there is a serious internet issue at play here. We've lost Sir Haven. That's one of the better players for SROT. He seems to be not even in their Discord, as they say.
Not Sir Haven, Optic Seagull.
Oh, it was Optic Seagull?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, for some reason I got confused there. Whatever. Yeah, Optic Seagull, that's their leader. And one of their battle players too. So that's it's gonna be hard for SROT to make that comeback. I mean, first sweeps do happen, but if they want to win this game, they need to get cracking on it. And if they don't have enough people, and the one person they're missing is their team leader, it's going to add that much higher of a difficulty in dealing with that.
Yeah.
Black Pants Legion said they're willing to wait, but with the uncertainty around how long the wait might be, I'm uncertain if we're able to continue to delay the match, because we don't know when he'll be back. We'll give it a minute though. We'll give SROT a minute to see if they can figure it out, or get another person on their team on, perhaps, to continue to play. I still don't see anything in the rules about playing with less than one, or with less people.
Yeah, I could have sworn I remember.
Most tournaments have rules about it. the rule set's very bare bones this time around. So there's the general rules which fill in some of the gaps, but there's not hyper-specific rules about a lot of the
nuances.
A lot of the nuances. Um, starting on time. Okay, preparation time. Players must be ready in their own in-game group, ready if anybody was semester. Yeah. Match procedures. I don't see it in here. Sorry for the delay, folks, but obviously there seems to be some serious internet issue. Optic Seagull has been kicked. The rules do not specify, to our understanding, what to do in this situation.
I feel like a person at like an MTG tournament. You know, just raise your hand, yell "Judge."
Yeah, usually there is specific rules about playing down a man, but not this time. Knowledge. Well, I think in this situation, the casters get to play. I think that's part of the rules.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we fill in.
Yeah, I get to fill in. Yeah, you know, put it's on the board.
It's in the rule sets now.
Yeah. Hey, you know, the refs can add rules at any time. So if I was a ref, I could do that. I could make that a rule.
You could.
I'm not. This is why I don't do these things, because I would add rules like that.
But I may play whenever I want. For whichever team I want.
If you're down a man, you get to contact me, and if I'm online, I get to play for your team. All right, so it looks like drop 2 is going to Junkyard Dogs over
Dirty Socks
Socks Clan. It seems like it was a brawl push on Roleplaying. He's back. He made it back.
Yes.
1 minute. All right. Well, get in your max. What you need to do. And he. All right. I think it might be. What's the tonnage limit? 420.
I have no clue.
Okay. No, is it 450? It's 320 for the first one. I think it goes to 450. Let me double check. 450. So, the Eagle is back. We can resume play. Hopefully, both teams took this opportunity to figure out what they need to do, so we don't spend 10 more minutes in this lobby. But this happens. You know, MWO comp. Official. Team 1 had only 5 minutes to lock. I think it's probably been more than that.
Oh, it's definitely been more than that.
Black Pants Legion chooses not to protest. So I don't think
they're not worried about busting
relevant.
out the clock on them.
Ironically, the team they're playing against is Sky Rangers of Terra. Now, not this Sky Rangers of Terra, but there was a situation in a previous tournament where SROT did win a match via a penalty for taking too long in the lobby. So,
yeah, but that's not this team.
No, that's not this team, but it is a team. It's the higher division SROT team, but it is ironic. It is ironic somewhat,
Just a
at
little.
least in my mind. Although that was like they weren't there for the match on time. It wasn't in the lobby. I think they just weren't there for the match on time, which happens. Sometimes people don't show up on time.
Sometimes.
Alpha Bravo Charlie for SROT. Lance-wise.
That's interesting. What would be the benefit of doing a drop that way?
Of doing a drop on Frozen City with a full spread?
Yeah.
It makes me think they're Team 1, right?
They are Team 1.
It does make me think trade, particularly the one mech being in Charlie. There's actually no benefit to dropping in Charlie Lance in a 7v7 in Team 1 side, in my mind. It's furthest away from the fight, which would be the only benefit. So if you're looking to brawl push, you'd probably want to stack Bravo Alpha. Putting a mech in Charlie maybe to confuse your enemy. It's close to the Delta 5. It's close to the Delta 5 line or hold point, which is very strong on this map. Like if you are looking to trade, usually Delta 5 is the hold point you want to do it from. So, but it's not really closer than Bravo Lance. So it makes me question why they would do that. It's not close to any cap points, so it's not like it's a light mech that you want to go cap. I think it could be a Kappa. If you wanted to cap Kappa, there is something to be said for maybe spawning in Charlie Lance. Because the path to getting to the low ground Delta 5 maybe is through buildings, so you'd be less likely to be scouted spawning in Charlie Lance. I can only speculate about what their motives. You see something similar on the other side, with most of the team being Bravo Charlie, with just the one mech in Alpha. The thing is, the Alpha mech can spawn right next to Sigma, where the Bravo Charlie mechs are probably going to brawl push.
What would be funny is if Black Pants Legion chose that setup just simply to mirror their opponent.
They, I'll take Team 1 this time. The thing is, it's not mirroring though, because they spawned, I believe, 3 and 3 rather than 4 and 2, so it wouldn't even be mirrored. I'm looking like maybe trade here on my side. Mad Cat Death Strikes 3 of them. Griffin 1, E, Rifleman 3C, Spider 5K, with our mysterious mech being a spider. So I would expect from Team 1 side, it's weird that the dropships spawn like this, because they're actually having to go fly past each other. Odd.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
The line I was talking about here is rather than going from Bravo Lance down into this canyon, you guys can't even see my view.
No.
Which is whatever. Rather than going Bravo Lance into the canyon, which I think would be a little bit quicker, Charlie Lance can maybe do it a little bit more stealthily. If you look at this canyon out by Delta 5, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, south of Theta.
Yeah. No, north of Theta.
North of Theta.
Yeah, this rock north of Theta, the big rock.
Oh yeah. With the stuff that's on the the little canyon on the side.
Right. So Bravo Lance would, I think, have a quicker path to this rock. Charlie Lance would have a more perhaps stealthy path. Holding. Who's holding? So if you see there's buildings in the way here, and when I talk about a stealthy path, rather than running over the open ground, they can pass through maybe these buildings and not be scouted. Through these buildings down into this crag, and maybe out this way. Along the canyon wall, in perhaps an effort to cap Kappa. I think that's what we're going to land on as my theory as to why Charlie. Because I believe Bravo is actually closer to... I believe it's a closer line. No, maybe not. Now looking at this from this view, it's probably closer to just go from Charlie anyway.
Man, looking at
On the map,
SROT, looking at SROT's team setup, 3 Death Strikes, 2 Spider 5Ks. Like,
it's trade.
what?
It's Hag Death Strikes. I'm
Oh,
curious
yeah.
as to why they didn't spawn the Hag Death Strikes in Bravo. Because I feel like you would want the Delta 5 high ground
Yep.
if you're trading. That's just generally theory for the point. Of course, they're not going to be trading, as we know, and they don't know. They're in fact going to be receiving. I certainly would have swapped the lances of the linebackers and Orions. I'm curious if this was just a flat-out mistake, or if they intended to put the faster mechs up first, perhaps in an effort to cap Epsilon. So yeah, I'm gonna place my bets: Spider to Kappa, linebackers to Epsilon, Orions towards Epsilon, but gonna cut in Skinny to Brawl push. Griffin and Rifleman to Delta 5, perhaps, and you're gonna put the Mad Cats in the city.
Maybe.
Lane's position can tell you a lot about what a team is looking to do.
Well, we know that
Because-
those Death Strikes are not going to be moving to the opposite side of the map.
No, they're not. Now, this big rock in Delta 5 that I keep talking about, I think is generally considered the best trade spot on the map. Due to how well it overwatches Theta. It obviously doesn't have maybe the looks at the defense position on Gamma that maybe you would like.
Yeah.
But the look down Theta route is generally considered very, very good. The reason I mentioned this linebacker position is interesting is because they're going to be pushing over into the city. The linebackers are faster than the Orions. So it wouldn't make sense, in my mind, to put the linebackers closer when you know you're faster, unless they're planning on going a further distance, meaning going all the way to Epsilon. Well, it looks like our Spider is going to attempt to go for Kappa, as predicted. Mad Cats go to Gamma. Griffin's going to make a play for Theta.
Interesting.
They don't scout this, though. They've not scouted the Brawl push at all. Completely going to abandon Delta 5 high ground. They finally got scouting on the Orions. If they had swapped the Orions and the Riflemen, and the linebackers, they wouldn't have seen this Brawl push at all. But
Yep.
because this Orion is lagging in the back, because he spawned further away, they're able to get that look at it. Our Spider taking that line that I was talking about earlier to try to get to Kappa.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a sneaky line. We've got, of course, the Spider falling back from Epsilon. Linebackers are taking Epsilon as predicted. Mad Cats are going to make the curious choice to jump down towards Theta. So this is, I would chalk it up to perhaps inexperience. Typically, you'd rather go towards the Delta 5 area. If you did want to cross, you'd cross through this Delta 5 trench. Obviously, they positioned a little bit further, hoping to cross before they get noticed. So they're taking a finer cut, I guess, a quicker cut across. But if these Orions and linebackers had not gone to Epsilon, this would have been a bloodbath. But they went all the way to Epsilon.
So this
they haven't
Incubus,
scouted.
this Incubus getting caught out.
Oh, I did not notice that. You are right. He's in a 1v1 with a Rifleman. He's got a Flamer, medium pulse laser, and an AP Gauss. This Incubus is toast. Incubus needs to get towards the Delta 5 Canyon.
Yep. He needs cover. Ooh,
This is a
Incubus
lot.
gets legged.
I'm curious if this is lost for Black Pants Legion. I like their deck a lot better than SROT, but there just hasn't been an aggressive play to push. They've decided to cap points, and I think you look at Black Pants Legion, this is not a rookie team, but I would categorize this as somewhat of a rookie mistake. Cap points aren't relevant here. This is not a big enough map where you're really thinking cap points are going to be in play, and that you need to cap during your brawl push. They're also taking an abominable line here. pathing all the way down into the Delta 5 Canyon in an attempt to maybe get onto this Death Strike. But in order to do that, they crossed this entire open ground, and you've seen obviously just shedding massive percentages of their mech.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is lost. I think this is fully lost.
Well, the linebackers are pushing out in front of the Orions, but they need those Orions to soak up some of the damage.
Well, they're already about to lose one. Sushi Destructo's about done.
Oh.
SROT feels confident in their positioning enough to send their spiders after cap points. Linebackers and Orions. Yeah, I mean, this is a deck that could work, has enough speed to work, but you got to either catch them in the upper city over here on Gamma Point, or you got to catch them in the low ground. And this rotation's just nasty from SROT. They're just going to jump back into the canyon and try to cross over. They're going to sell their riflemen, though. They're just going to let them die to get their Mad Cats away. I don't mind that move at all.
It's honestly not a bad move.
No. It guarantees a win here. I mean, the win was already guaranteed, TBH, but you're going to have a Griffin do a similar thing. Just stalling.
Meanwhile, SROT is going to sit there on a 5 cap.
Yeah. This is this was totally winnable for Black Pants Legion if they had been aggressive and committed to pushing against their mechs rather than pushing the caps. They went for both caps. Even trying to get Epsilon was a move that I think heavily cost them. But trying to get both points cost them even more.
Yep, there goes Ralphie.
Playing up time for SWAT. I don't even think the Flamers are a bad idea. Yes, it's a cool cold map. Not going to be as effective on a hot map, but it's not even a bad idea.
Down goes one of the Death Strikes.
Sir Haven might get picked here too. I mean, it's again, you see, even with the mistakes that they made, this is still a strong enough deck that once they get in there, you're gonna be able to peel off a few kills.
Yeah.
You know that. Now, I think part of that is I don't think the Death Strike's DPS is very good. You know, the Death Strikes are not going to punish this as well as maybe a Mad Cat 2 would have. Obviously, the range advantage. Yeah. It's a 4-on-4, but obviously percentage-wise of
BPL.
BPL,
yeah. BPL's their mechs sitting at around 30%. Meanwhile, SROT sitting 80, 90, 99%. Like, whew.
So one thing I don't hate the idea for Black Pants Legion. A push from Team 2 side was sort of what I was talking about earlier. I think Team 1 side has an advantage trading, at least. It's like, in the pure theory, it's like, you know, okay, it's kind of a white is better than black in chess thing, where, you know, at the highest level, if everything's executed perfectly, you know, there's an advantage to moving first in chess. It's sort of similar in this, where, you know, just because one side has an advantage doesn't mean most teams are going to be able to prove it out in an actual game. You look at 3 mechs over 700 damage for SROT, 2 more over 500. You know, Wraith Darkstar was able to get in and do some damage as well as Unsung, but you know, obviously huge damage numbers from SROT.
Yeah, that 878. Whew. Optic Seagull getting those finishing touches on mechs. Securing 4 kills for the team. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good. I commentated as if this was a complete blowout, but 3 kills isn't bad, particularly with the positioning. But this match was over very quickly. Um, I think the match was savable even after they lost the Incubus if they had just pushed straight across the canyon rather than trying to path all the way into Delta 5. I'm wondering if that's something they had plotted out beforehand, was to push into Delta 5. There's more cover there for the crossing, but they ended up getting into a situation where they were pushing the very edge of the flank, and it just they had to run a lot farther in a lot of open ground. They took a ton of damage on the way in, and they didn't end up obviously even getting to an area where mechs even were, because by the time they got across, all the mechs had run away. So if they just pushed straight across, I wouldn't have been surprised if Black Pants Legion was able to gut out a win there. I mean, the Spider 5Ks aren't going to be doing a ton of damage, so even though you're down the Incubus.
Yeah, no, with those Spider 5Ks, that mag shot with the snubs, you're looking at what? 20, 23 damage total?
Right, but
18 pinpoint?
Yeah, it's not nothing. It is definitely significant in terms of, it's like an AC-20, right?
Yeah, almost.
But DPS wise, it's not the most. Like, you could have gotten over the fact that they had extra light is sort of what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Especially with the DPS advantage, if you could get in close of the Orions over the Mad Cats, which and the Griffin, which was also not a DPS field, which I think was significant. So there were opportunities for Black Pants Legion there, and I liked their deck better. I think if executed properly, I think they could have got a third win there. As instead, SROT's able to make it 2-1, hunting after that reverse sweep. Black Pants Legion, of course, taking both Alpine games. SROT got some life.
SROT's coming back. They're coming back with vengeance. I feel it. Especially as these drop decks get heavier. These players, they're used to playing in the heavier mechs. Like, I know seeing Hot Trans Girl in your area in quick play, I see them in heavies and assaults a lot. So these pilots are definitely a lot more comfortable in the heavier mechs than probably the lighter mechs. So
yeah, I think that's something to be said. Certain teams definitely do have tendencies like that. I believe Junkyard Dogs was an interesting case last season where, in the light tonnage drops, they were maybe 9-1, something like that. Or no, last week they lost both of them. So they were 7-3. They were 7-1 going into the final week, and then got 0-5. But they were 7-1 in the light tonnage drops, but like 0-5 or 0 not 5, 0-15 in the later tonnage drops or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you had this sort of team that was much more constructed around strong light pilots, and as the tonnage started to ramp up, I might be exaggerating a little bit. They might have been 6-2 and then 1-14, or like something like that. But as the tonnage started to ramp up, you sort of saw a lot of situations where Junkyard Dogs would give up reverse sweeps, where they would win 2 games and lose the back 3. Happened 2 or 3 times to that team in particular. So,
yep.
Obviously, that's last season. This is this season. That was an interesting thing I noticed last season. I think SROT may have sort of an opposite effect here. Sir Haven's a guy I think generally is going to lean heavier. Papa Spud, I believe, as well, where I think a lot of maybe their stronger players do lean towards bigger mechs. It's interesting to see that. Frozen City is a map I definitely give SROT the advantage in. I think Alpine, Black Pants Legion can be very tricky, and Alpine is a map you can be tricky on. And I think you were able to see what Black Pants Legion was able to do with that space. SROT, if they choose to, they can brawl push Black Pants Legion on this one. I know they went receive last time, but if they choose to brawl, I like their odds a lot with the amount of experience that team has brawling. So, I would not be surprised if SROT chooses to brawl from Team 2. What they have chosen to do, though, as of right now, is set up Alpha Charlie, which makes me think trade. So I'm curious as to if maybe they think, you know, hey, Frozen City's not a map we want to brawl on. Certainly that's been the opinion of some players, or some teams, I guess. You know, Frozen City, a map that in quick play is a slam dunk trade map. It requires a lot of coordination to be able to brawl it. As we just saw with Black Pants Legion, where I felt they had opportunities but weren't able to execute on them, and ended up losing in the brawl push. So, you know, if SROT does brawl push, they're sort of going to have to be betting on themselves that, okay, maybe we can execute a little better than BPL just did. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what they choose to do.
Yeah,
I'll take 2 this side this time.
Okay. Which side is that they spawn? Sigma side?
Yeah, but if you want to look for the drop ships, they're like opposite side for some reason.
Jeez.
Yeah. What? Oh, archers. For some reason I read that as Arctic wolves. Okay, well, this is the brawl. This is brawl push from SROT. I wonder if they got their lances confused. Wait a minute. Is it? 1, 2. Those are Storm 6s, right? Is this 4 Storm? Is this only 4 Storm 6s or something? Am I crazy? Oh no, there's 5. Yeah, it's a 5 Storm 6 build. Okay, it's not running the. It's not running the Giga Storm Summoner, but I believe that's 5 Storm 6s that I count on the Summoners, rather than the didn't add in the 4s or whatever. I'm assuming these Archer 5Ws are going to be packing. I like the paint jobs.
Hey, Revan.
Although Papa's, well, yeah.
Guess what?
What?
Blue team's bringing hatchetmen.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, with small lasers and snubbies. And stalkers? Whew. 3 stalkers, 3 hatchetmen, and a mad dog revenant.
I wonder if this is split push. Oh my word. 5 Storm 6 Artemis. Yeah, they brought the Artemis build. 5 Storm 6 is on the Archers too. That's 6. 6 mechs with 30 Storms. You can do the math. They're at home. 180 SRMs plus, of course. Now let's not forget the Spider 5B with the 1 snub nose PPC. Hatchetman. Snubs and smalls. Stalker 5S. Large lasers. Stalker 5S is gonna just set up this nice little firing line. And unfortunately, summoners are gonna make the wrong move and push left. Archers need to take the right, I think. Much easier to push down line from the right than across the canyon from the left on this stalker position. Either way.
Me personally, I don't like that all 3 of these stalkers are stacked up right on top of each other.
Well, they definitely, I think, are playing a bit conservative due to the brawl mechs they've scouted. Stalker finally going to make a play for the Delta 5 high ground that I talked about so much earlier. You know, this is a big power position that Weaver's moving to. It really can support or do a lot of damage against brawl pushes. Now, it is a bit of a coffin corner. If you get pushed in it, it's really hard to get your lights out. The one thing, if you do get brawl pushed and you end up losing, one thing you have the option to do is to get your lights out.
Looks
and,
like
run caps.
the summoners are trying to engage on the hatchetmen.
This is bad for the Black Pants Legion. Hatchetman might have enough speed to run away with this one.
Maybe.
But Unsung's taking damage. Unsung's taking a lot of damage. This is the critical juncture. Black Pants Legion gonna attempt to cross. They're gonna give their stalkers clear lines, and it's up to SROT to decide: do we just push them? It looks like that's what they're gonna do. Yeah, this is interesting. Sir Haven's staying up, but he might be the first to go down. He is. That's big. That's big because this fight. Oh, we don't have the archers in it at all.
Nope.
That is a problem for SROT. The archers are just not in this fight. Archers need to give up on fighting the hatchetmen, probably, in my opinion, and just start pushing the stalkers. And let the hatchetman fight play out as it will. Or Papa Spud, what do you do? 9 SROM Forcers. Different build. What is this path thing? You guys gotta commit to something. Commit to the bit. Optic Seagull goes down. Lerm's raining in on Hot Trans Girl. Unfortunately, they're gonna lose all 3 summoners for 1 hatchetman here. 1.5 hatchetman.
That is a trade.
Yeah, this was over aggressive. They should not have chased the hatchetmen into the low ground without the help of their archers. They needed to send the archers across to the stalkers. If they do that, maybe the archers jump the stalkers, and then you've got a game here. But instead, it's a 4v6 and 3 100% healthy stalkers and 100% healthy Mad Cat. And none of the archers are even 100% healthy. They're all taking damage. Sky Rangers of Terra has got a 4 cap. That's their move here. They are gonna make the stalkers push across. Hatchetman gonna go back to Kappa. Archers maybe can get some picks there if they notice. They do. Maybe redemption here for the Sky Rangers of Terra. Picks here. Yeah, Wrath Darkstar gets lagged. And, both of them will get lagged. Okay. Well, now we have a game with both of these hatchetmen going down in quick succession without, I think, doing too much to really curb our archers going into this game. We now have 3 stalkers and a Mad Dog, and that Spider 5V has a 4 cap.
Kappa is under enemy control.
Hey, you know what? That Spider 5V, he's doing the Lord's work right now.
Well, he's about to die.
He can get out. He can get out.
He needed to go around that building.
He can get out. I believe.
3 stalkers closed in on him.
Really, it's the Mad Dog that he has to worry about.
Mad Dog with Lerms. Yeah. Well, that's Spider 5B. If he stays alive, SROT is still totally in this. With no fast movers for our Black Pants Legion. Even with the 100% healthy mechs, they're way behind on caps, and the archers can hold Kappa and Gamma pretty well. Maybe even make a push towards Theta, but let's do a little math here. Even if this game were 3-2 now, which it isn't, SROT needs a 4 cap to win. Not SROT, Black Pants Legion. The biggest question is, does Black Pants Legion know that? Because if they don't, maybe they just sit on 3 caps until it's too late. If they know that, maybe they push in, are able to finish off the archers with their stalkers and win. This looked pretty bleak for SROT. I think they've turned this around to be well in the driver's seat. And that's what 1 cap light can kind of do for you. I'm typically not a fan on brawl pushing to bring a cap light. It's sort of betting on that your brawl push is going to fail. You know, that you sort of have an insurance policy in case you fail. I don't like this at all from SROT. This is desperate. They don't know the math. That's the problem. They think they need a 3rd cap, and they don't.
It's not SROT that's being desperate.
SROT's the one pushing.
Yeah, SROT's the one pushing. It's not out of being desperate, because they own the 3 cap right now. They have the cap lead.
Right, but they're losing FC.
Yes.
So they're maybe they think they can get the Mad Dog while the other guys are at Epsilon. They should not have sent 2 stalkers to Epsilon. That was foolhardy. That's a bit aggressive, but that's a mistake that could cost them. I just think if I'm SROT, I know I don't need Theta, and I don't care about the other side caps. I'm going to make the stalkers push me. So they're able to get the Mad Dog, which is a huge kill. This game is squarely in SROT's hands. They are going to push back to Theta, though. They're going to try to push and finish the job. What is...
I think SROT might just be a little too impatient.
That's what I was saying. They're impatient because they want to. They don't need theta. I mean, they need 50 ticks,
Yeah.
25 ticks. Apologize. They've won the game, by the way. The Stalkers
Oh,
physically
yeah.
can't get to Kappa and Sigma in time to win. Perhaps they know they have it locked up and are just kind of wanting to finish the kills.
Get as many kills as possible, rack up some points.
Well, that's huge because this is a division where you can make mistakes and still get wins. Obviously, I think the Summoners made a mistake. The one thing that Black Pants Legion did not account for, though, was the fact that if the game's going to end on caps, heavies for lights or fast movers is always a good trade. And even though it was 3-on-1 in favor of Black Pants, or in favor of Black Pants Legion, where they only lost one mech, they had lost so much percentage on the other hatchetmen that they went down close to without a fight against the archers, meaning that Spider 5e could just have free roam of the map to finish capping and maintain that lead. Fascinating match. Fascinating.
This will be one to rewatch.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought they were done. So I mean, I don't know if my commentary played that out, but I thought SROT was cooked with archers against fresh stalkers. I had not been paying attention to what their spider had been doing though. Their spider had gotten them a huge cap lead, and a lot of times I think people often think of cap leads in terms of how many points you have, like how many cap points you have. But once you get in that situation where you're up on the individual ticks, you don't even need as many points. You can win with a 1 cap or even a 2 cap.
Yep.
2 caps to 3 is not that bad. You really want to avoid the 1 cap to 4, but 2 caps to 3, if you have a sizable cap lead, it's going to take, if you're at 600 and they're at 400, and you have 2 caps, you've won. You only need 75 ticks to finish it off. By the time they're 3 caps up, there will be 75 ticks short, or 425 ticks short. I apologize, because they would need 600 to 500. I mean, I apologize. If you had 600, they're at 500. You've won with a 2 cap, even though it's just 100 points, because you only need 75 ticks. So you can't run mechs. You can't run down a cap lead that fast with only 3 caps. So Optic Seagull has chose to ban Rubelite. No. Optic Seagull. Okay. Optic Seagull bans Rubelite. Ralphie gets to pick the map. Then Optic Seagull gets to pick the side. So our 2 options now with Rubelite banned is Polar Highlands or Tourmaline, and we are going to go to Polar Highlands.
Polar Highlands it is.
Something we're doing for this tournament is a little bit different. With the map bans, sort of more like a world championship match, with map bans for the final drop. Interesting concept. Leaves us playing on Polar. It's now on Optic Seagull to choose the side. Definitely a good move by Ralphie to ban Tourmaline. Will be side 1. I do think currently Tourmaline is a bit one-sided. Of the maps in the map pool, I personally believe Tourmaline to be the most one-sided, even though the advantage is not maybe super large. I think it's one where, I guess at least at the high level of play, you have at least trade games, there's an advantage on getting theta, which, if you can get theta, usually that gives you a big advantage in the game. So if one side is slightly better at getting theta, that can lead to a sizable advantage, even if it means you only get theta 10% more of the time.
See, I don't know how I feel about the the whole map banning process, picking your sides, yada yada yada, with the rule set. Like, I get it. It's fun. It's something new, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you also add in the mech bans. It feels like there was a lot added in to this competition. You know, and it to me feels like it wasn't quite needed. It kind of feels like it was just added pressure on the team leads.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, at the higher division, you also have the mech bans. I'm glad that we were able to get them to not enforce that lower divisions.
Oh yeah.
Originally in the original thing, all divisions would have to participate in the mech ban, which was going to put a strain on team leaders, but also on stables for particularly the lowest division teams. Generally once you get into the more mid divisions, people are going to have the mechs, but just add something. Also, originally mech bans were going to take place in the lobby right before the drop. They were able to change that to Wednesday, to give people advance notice of what mechs were banned.
Yeah, time to prepare.
Right. So, some of these changes luckily got amended, not necessarily taken out, but amended to take some of that pressure off of the team leads. I think the popularity of the rule set going into the tournament is maybe not high, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people end up enjoying it. I think anytime you get more complicated, I think there's going to be pushback, start adding rules that complicate things.
At least for the first couple of weeks.
The one thing I really don't like is that Team 2 gets to choose the side for the final map. It's just not a... it's a massive advantage. I'll just say that. It is a massive advantage. Now, even if the sides are equal, theoretically equal, being able to choose the side allows you to prepare much better. As it currently stands, Team 1, if they wanted to fully prepare for drop 5, would have to practice 2 maps on both sides. So 4 drops to equate 1 drop of practice. Whereas Team 2 would only have to drop 2 maps, and only 1 side on each map, as they would have certainty on which map they wanted. In this division, not going to matter, I think. Most teams are going to not even know what side they really want. At high level, the teams know which sides are better.
They know what they're going to be choosing.
Now, there are certain maps, I think Polar's one of them, where I wouldn't say there's a clear side advantage, and so you might want to practice both sides. On Tourmaline, if you're Team 1, there's only one side worth practicing, because you already know you're not going to get to pick the side, and you already know the other team's going to pick the good side. So there is some balance there, where it's like, well, if you just resign yourself to the fact that they're going to pick the good side, and you just resign yourself to only practicing the bad side, sure, you can do it that way. But it is a huge advantage that Team 2 gets, and who's Team 1 and who's Team 2 is completely random. It's not based on seeding or anything like that. It's just random. And so it's sort of adding this element of one team gets a huge advantage based off of RNG. And, obviously there's a thinking to, okay, well, who's Team 1 and who's Team 2 being decided by who's Seed 1 and Seed 2 also is up to RNG. But at least then when banning which maps, which side you're going to play from both sides. You have that ability to know what side you're going into, prepare the side you're going into, and perhaps even ban maps you wouldn't ban because of if you feel like you have a side disadvantage. I think it would have been a more fair and dynamic rule set under that. I understand the reason that they did it the way they did. I don't want to complain, but it is, I think, the part of the rule set that might cause the most friction going forward.
Yeah.
Well, the point system, but people are all up in arms about the point system.
I mean, people are always going to be up in arms about point systems whenever it comes to comp. You know, I've been up in arms about point systems
Well,
myself.
the point system in this is no different than any other. Like, it's not like it's a TOS kills point system. The
Ugh.
point system is basically just going to be based on drop wins, same as any other point system, right?
Yep.
Like, it's just the same point system as ISC, with drop wins being, worth more points, and drop losses now being, instead of worth 0 points and drop wins being worth 1, drop losses are worth 1 and drop wins are worth 3. Now, ties are, in this system, ties are better accounted for. But the big difference is that forfeits are worth 0. So forfeits being worth less than a loss is actually a major deal.
Yes.
That's because you don't just forfeit for not showing up. If you break any of the rules, it's technically a forfeit. Even if it's like something really minor, if you break any of the rules, it's technically a forfeit. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I actually agree with that part of the rule. That you should forfeit if you break the rules. I think that's perfectly reasonable. But the fact that now, okay, you lose points, even if you lost, if you lose the game and you broke a rule, usually it would be just the same as if you just lost the game. But if you lose a game and also forfeited, you now actually get less points than if you had just lost the game. So this is the reason I bring it up is there's ongoing drama regarding that with another team where they had lost drops.
Yeah, we don't need to go deep into it. We got the match starting.
I've got Team 2 here, by the way.
All right, so you've got red team, I got blue team.
Yeah.
Over on blue side, SROT, we got, what is that? 2 Crusader 6Ts, 2 Executioners, and 2 Chargers, and an Incubus.
Yeah, over here, we've got 2 Nightstar 10Ps. Interestingly, the Marauder that's being brought is the Marauder 6S with 1 AC-20 and 3 snubs. So, of course, this is a Game 5 critical drop. We've got the Viper F with 10 AP Gauss, Viper M with 12 AP Gauss, Viper F with light machine guns and heavy smalls. That heavy smalls is not what you should be bringing with light machine guns. Me personally, I think you should spring for the ER mediums. But either way, interesting builds all around. Nightstar 10Ps, of course, Ultra AC2s. They opted for the ERPPC as well to add to that 4 Ultra AC2 build. Curious to see if SROT pushes with these XCs and Crusaders. I feel like they should, but they're going to run into this DACA.
I think they're going to try to Pop-Tart with all these ERPs that they brought.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they're doing a lot of damage already to Ralphie in his Nightstar. Wrath Darkstar's getting real aggressive. He moved all the way up, basically, onto Theta. I would have brought DACA Marauders, personally. If you're going to bring the Nightstars, I would have brought DACA Marauders. Instead, we got these Brawl Marauders. Hedgehog BC finally getting up to the fight. I think with the Vipers, though, it's clear Black Pants Legion is attending, perhaps, to Brawl.
I don't know if you noticed this, but Sir Haven in that Incubus going and sitting on Sigma.
Yes. Sir Haven gonna perhaps look to manage the caps again on this one.
Looks
that
like
can lead to a big deal down the line, as we saw last match.
Yeah, it looks like BPL is aware of it. They're sending a Viper back to contest.
Well, SROT taking a little bit of damage, but looking mostly clean. SROT looking to definitely push up this left side, right side, however you want to see it. A lot of times, if you're pushing on this map, this is the angle that you take. They're still skirmishing, though. Charger 1A1's, of course, got the... Oh, Ralphie Nopad's about to die. Yeah, he's toast. He's lost a side torso already, and his CT is almost scored. The Chargers with the large X-Pulse obviously can skirmish, and as can the Xes. A lot of the damage being put out on the Night Stars. Damage being spread out well by the SROT. Wrath Darkstar is losing his back. Wraith Darkstar. Apologize.
Looks like Sir Haven was able to get out of that fight with the
Ralphie
Viper.
goes down. Hedgehog now starting to take the brunt of the damage.
Oh, we have a Marauder
Spud.
coming in behind
Spud died.
the. Yeah, we have
Did he get backshot?
Yeah, Brawl Marauder 6S coming in behind the Charger and the Executioner Chirby.
Wraith Darkstar got pushed and killed. Viper's now looking to engage with the Chargers and Crusaders to help Hedgehog out. Marauder actually just trying to get some space from that Marauder, get his buddies in to help. Crusader, is this Crusader legs? He's looking worse for wear. No, CT cord. This channel is not a great locale for Sky Rangers of Terra. They're all backed up here. Viper's just kind of poking and prodding. Marauder now moving towards Theta to try to assist with this fight. Sky Ranger's gonna empty out onto this Marauder and attempts to get that kill. Crusader loses an arm. How's Crimson Lizard looking? Side torso's the worst for wear. Only X-Pulse left on Hot Trans Girl in your area. Optic Seagull.
Down goes that Marauder.
Legs looking weak. Yeah, it's 6-4 in favor of Sky Rangers. Can these Vipers, with all those mag shots, really start tearing into Sky Rangers and equalize? Crusader really needs to be the first to go. His CT's looking weak. One of the Vipers, Bella here, has lost at least an arm, and he goes down. Charger 1A1. Crusader's still up. Crusader's still up. Optic Seagull finally goes down. XC and Crusader both looking really wounded, but Crimson Lizard, I think, still got enough health to pose a significant threat.
All that's left are the two Vipers.
Vipers are running. Vipers are running. How do I accidentally hit a button that will remove the scoreboard? I think it's GG's. No. The cap points. How many caps? All that stuff.
I don't know what button that is.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a button, but it is. Alright, well, I think regardless of what the points are at, it's over. This Viper going to be run down. Big win for SROT, going down 0-2 and being able to pull out a crafty win with the reverse sweep. Black Pants Legion, I felt, had chances. In all three drops, they had a lot of chances. Obviously, first drop, we're all pushed, never really got home. Second drop, obviously losing those hatchetmen led to that cap win for SROT. I don't know. It's a closely matched teams, I believe. I don't think Black Pants Legion was expected to be this competitive with SROT. I think they should feel very good about their performance. Of course, you never feel good when you feel like you have chances to win and aren't able to finish. But Hedgehog with 900 damage.
Sheesh.
But Hot Trans Girl and Optic Seagull both over 800, close to 850.
Just a really good showing by both teams. Great job by Sir Haven going around, getting those cap points, trying to pull away aggro from the rest of its team. Good job.
Yeah. Well, I believe this was the last match of the week that was week 1 of Battle for Midway. I think it was a good week. We saw some upsets. We saw some matches go a bit more chalk. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Junkyard Dogs just wrapped up their match. I believe it was 5-0, but I was not obviously paying that close attention as I was trying to watch this match. Let me check if there's anything else coming up. I don't think there is.
I don't think so. Looking at the caster sheet, this should be it.
Yeah, Junkyard Dogs and Van Zandt Militia. Those were the last 2 games scheduled, so...
Yep.
Sorry, Junkyard Dogs, Dirty Sox Club, and then Van Zandt Militia versus Team Optic. All right, well...
Thank you so much, Revan.
No problem. I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry if I...
You know what? It saves my voice for next week.
Fair enough. 2 really good matches today that you cast. I was able to catch the cast earlier for
Wizard.
What was it? Wizard Shadowcat Wizard Gang.
Yeah.
That was another situation where a team came in looking for the upset, couldn't quite land it though. Couldn't quite get the 3rd win. Similar matches, both very close. Very close games. I'm excited to see what Black Pants Legion can do for the rest of the tournament. Obviously, SROT with the win today, looking to contend in that division. They've got a good squad. Jaegers though looked dominant this week.
Oh yeah.
Jaegers, of course, the FJRD team. There is an FJRD team in every division but Division A. So Jaegers is the FJRD team that Optic will have to contend with. Next up for Optic, Sorensen Sabres, who took a close loss to Straight On Suicide this week. Bears Brawlers versus BPL will be next week. So yeah. Black Pants Legion gets to go back, lick their wounds a little bit against a Bears Brawlers team that has some talent, definitely been around for a minute, a lot of experience, but did not have a great performance this week. Sorensen looking to maybe get their first win. Team Optic looking to stay undefeated next week. A Straight On Suicide, of course, our other match winner, will face Jaegers.
Very
Division
nice.
6 could be Division 6 could get interesting. Team Optic, a Straight On Suicide, and Jaegers all are very good teams. I'll say, it's MWO comp. Obviously, there's lower divisions, but the teams in the lower divisions, they still try. They still try just as, I don't know about just as hard, basically. So
they still put up numbers. They still put up numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
They're scrimming, they're winning, they're doing it all.
EQ treats this, when EQ has played, they treat this like a full-time job. Like you got daily shift at the MWO comp practice. But for the most part, I wouldn't say there's a big fall off between levels of preparation, besides just an experience gap where, of course, the top teams maybe can draw on years of preparation, rather than just, the single week that perhaps some of these newer teams have to put in.
And not just years of experience, but, just the selection in mechs.
Yeah, that's also a big thing.
Yeah. Anyways, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out, supporting these teams. Black Pants Legion, SROT. It's always wonderful seeing everybody come out and support teams, support us casters, and supporting MWO comp as a whole. So yeah, thank you so much, community. Thank you, Revan, for coming out and co-casting this with me, but really, you essentially were the main caster, let's be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, they didn't get to see my point of view, so hey.
That's true.
I'm glad I could fill in for Jimmy so that he could go cast the other match. I don't know if I'll be back, but hey, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Alrighty. And with that, I guess there's only one thing left to say, and that's the closing remarks. So let's get to it. I'm Luscious Balzac from FJRD. That's Hunters of the Fjordlands here on MWO. So yeah, thank you all so much for coming out. And as always, keep it luscious.